I've been around in Westermo now for 20 years, so I've seen an awful lot of change. When I first started, we were dealing with 300 bits per second. You can almost walk with a letter quicker to the RTU, flick a few switches, and then go back again and communicate. It's so slow. Now we're into tens of gigabits. So the technology change has been very, very rapid. In the last 5 years, it's been practically vertical. Westermo in the next 2 years will go through a real radical shift in terms of products and technologies which are coming through from the IT end of the market through to OT, mostly cybersecurity, mostly very, very high bandwidth. So it's a really good time to get to know Westermo because there is so much happening in this marketplace. We're riding the wave, if you like, towards the future. And in saying that, we've got an excellent portfolio of existing products. From time to time, Aramco has used some of them, not all of them. We're not on the official approvers list yet, but we will be, hopefully we'll get there. What you will find is Westermo's probably come in packaged with other products. We work with ABB, we work with so you'll see us indirectly maybe into the Aramco. You won't see us directly. Well, hopefully we'll change that around. Say there's some interesting things where we've been more of a niche product and field solutions for Aramco. The reason we told you about the media converters, the serial to IP converters. There's some movement going on because of modem replacement. We need to look at ways of advancing modem technology onto something like IP, where we can pick up the old legacy RTUs and we can pick up any new IP type technology at the same time, and basically progress your systems as well. So, first question I like to ask people is why Westermo? Sometimes I ask myself. We like to think that we can help you manage risk. Because of our approach, we're true to specification, and by true to specification we mean that when we get the specification for particular standards, the NEC standards for EMC, for vibration, we don't test it ourselves. We do test it ourselves, but then we go to a third-party test house, and we get it tested independently. So that means that we verify that we've actually satisfied the requirements of the specification. And Westermo, being Westermo, doesn't want to specify that we actually comply to those specifications in their test. If you took a product which was 10 years old, it would still comply to those tests. So even with the aging process which goes on in electronics, we'll still be compliant with our capacities. It's not going to be, today's good, tomorrow is, maybe it's getting noisy, maybe it's more susceptible. No, 15 years time, it's going to be the same. So there's a high level of dependency in the product. So I like to say, what helps you reduce risk is it being true to specification. Okay, inside, say Nuri's gone through some of these products. We've got all these excellent, really good products like the racks. We've just brought out a new rack, 28 ports, lots and lots of fibre built into that port, into that rack, 16 fibres, all gig. One thing that with the Vipers, I know that a few of these have appeared in various other oil companies around the world, mainly because they're M12 connectors, and they have no holes through to the outside world. So they can be literally installed, bolted onto the side of whatever application you have, and they're completely dust-proof, and they're completely waterproof. So they can be mounted outside without any other protection. So if need be, you can consider actual external installations because of those M12 connectors. And it's total sealing around the unit itself. Very, very good heat characteristics on that product. It will quite happily sit at 70 degrees. It's actually rated for 85. So we tested TBF. The better your MTBF, the less lifetime failures you see, the less failures you see across the whole estate. So take the MTBF number, divide it by the number of products, and that's your average failure rate, theoretical failure rate. Again, Nuri's been through kind of like the outline parts of this. But it's the important thing is, 15 years down the road, we are still the same. Okay, not many other manufacturers will do that. They will install to pass standard, they'll build to pass a standard, go 5 years down the road, test it again, it will pass. Okay, we aimed at Okay, so there's a lot of risk reduction when you take that approach when you're building your electronics. And you can only do it by building it into the electronics, not something you can add like big suppressors and stuff on the actual outside of the installation once you install it. We also briefly touched on IEC-EX. We're one of the few companies which actually has external approval for IEC-EX via PASIPA, which is a real pain, I've got to tell you, because they come and inspect you all the time, and there is a random inspection. They don't give you any notice, they just turn up and say, hey, we're from PASIPA, tell us what you've got. So we have to keep separate part numbers, we have to track all the products. It's, from your perspective, it's a really good standard for Zone 2 areas because it is independently assured that the products actually pass those particular stringent requirements. That includes the SFPs, which go into some of the switches. They are also IEC-EX approved. So it's third party. We've also got ATEX and Class 1 Div 2, but the IEC-EX is the important one really, from my opinion, because it's universal and it's independently tested. If I was looking at a hazardous application, it doesn't actually mean just a bit of background information for yourselves really, that if you've got just one area which requires hazardous installations, you don't have to do the whole installation. You can just worry about your Zone 2 area. So all this can be all standard products, and this can be the Zone 2. Approved equipment. Install the equipment in the Zone 2. We can even do fibre optic links out to the Zone 1 area as well. We can combine that with DNV. I'm not so sure that Aramco has got a lot of offshore assets in terms of rigging teams and rigs and stuff dotted off the coast. But there's no reason why the same product cannot be used on those marine type installations. Certainly we see a lot of this in the North Sea, where we need to have DNV approval and the IEC-EX before we can go into certain areas, like rigs, for example, or FPSOs. I suppose what drives all this forward then is the bit that I'm really interested in, so I'm more of a software person than a hardware, is that you've got this fantastically reliable hardware platform. And we go to the ends of the earth to actually make it as reliable as we can. But then it's nothing if you've got an unreliable operating system. So you have to match the two together. So we developed a thing called the WEOS operating system. It grew out of our independent developments on various products, which were all separate years and years and years ago. Each product was developed independent, had an independent operating system, an independent team, which is it's unmaintainable in software terms. So we brought them all together and we created WEOS, and that's something like 9 or 10 years ago now. And that's now progressed as time's gone on from a simple layer 2 operating system with a nice front end, right the way through now to sophisticated layer 3 type functionality, cybersecurity built in, etc. So the upshot now is that all devices all use the same operating system. So if you buy one device from Westermo, whether it's a Lynx, it's a Viper, it's a Red Fox, or it's one of our layer 3s racks, it looks exactly the same. The GUI looks the same, and the CLI looks the same. There's actually there's a management system called WeConfig, which actually manages all the switches, and that looks the same, which sits on top of the PC. That means that you have very little training overhead. So once you've trained one person on one product, it's transferable across them all. So we haven't got different courses for different products. It makes it much, much easier for yourself. It also means that the functions and features are actually quite common across the entire range. There's a few variants, minor places. The router switches have their own protocols, for example. But essentially, the same features and functions are available. Typically, the differentiator is horsepower. How much processing power there is to process the packets which are going through the router. We also have a feature where we have only one software update file, because we're actually using a common across all platforms. When it comes to maintaining those devices. You don't have to go and select which particular firmware you need, which particular device, and which particular variant device. You just have one file from us, and you give it to the device. It goes through all the digest of the files inside and says, okay, this is for me, this is for me, this is for me, updates, and then you have the update done. So it makes simplicity itself when it comes to updates. Say you learn one device, you've learned them all. So it makes easy maintenance across the organisation. Reduces OPEX, always. When you have easy maintenance, in fact, you should have very little maintenance, then OPEX drops down. The only thing that now these days we see the most numbers of file updates are for security vulnerabilities, and I'll get into that later on when we do the cybersecurity, how we actually maintain our cybersecurity stance with the product. So Wheels, say it fits on all the devices. Inside Wheels itself, made easy configuration. We actually we've got various awards for made easy. We try and take really complex issues and we make them as simple as we possibly can in configuration terms. So we can take an engineer who knows nothing about IP and we can get them configuring switches within a couple of hours. It's literally clicks. And it's just typing in a few numbers. They don't have to readily understand everything about what they're doing. It's just very simple, lead them through wizard type setups. Some very complex issues where you're putting client VLANs, we go to great lengths to simplify that. Routing, we simplify that as well. But hopefully, when you get quite novice engineers, they'll understand what they're doing very, very quickly with the products. So again, it's a complex approach. Layer 2 switching resilience. We've got a whole raft of different means of controlling layer 2 information, from prioritization to multicast control, through to prioritization, multicast control, through to ring control. When it comes to ring control, looping round, we've got control with RSDP, which is very popular, but I hate it with passion because it causes so many problems. MRP, which is a common standard now across the industry for ring redundancy protocol. We've got our own FRNT, which is probably one of the fastest and most stable ring protocols in the world. So there's lots of different options in terms of controlling layer 2 design, build, and interconnectivity for resilience. And we've also got layer 3 capability built in. This is the only differential between some of our products. Some are layer 2 only, and some are layer 2 and layer 3. The layer 3 gives you access to all the routing capabilities. So you have got static routes, dynamic routing, OSPF and RIP. You've also got access to things called floating static routes, which blows everybody's mind, which are the route of last resort if something goes wrong. So if all the other routing fails, this is the route you use to actually get out of the network. We use a lot of that in subsea, where they've got usually a lot of different routes up from the subsea installation. And if everything